Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod in the 40 unit save version. We got a whole heck of a lot going on all of a sudden. And it's time for us to figure out how we're going to deal with it. And one thing we've got this attack down in Cuba, and what I'm leaning towards is just letting Genoa attack Cuba. I was originally going to see about pulling the army out of Florida to come down, but you see, this is what I'm going to do instead. I'll move my nearby fleet near New Orleans over here in a battle against fleet on fleet, 8 ships on 8 ships, but 2 of theirs are sloops, the rest are 5th rates, but I have a number of 4th rates in my mix with no sloops, just 5th and 4th rates. So I think we outclass them. It'll be a great and interesting and tough battle in spite of what should be our advantage, as naval battles always are for me. But we're going to go ahead and try it, because if I can knock out this navy, the Genoa Navy, their army's stuck here. And we can then come back and take care of it at our leisure when we feel like it. And then we'll hang on to our holdings up here. I don't want to pull the armies out of this battle against the Cherokee yet, even though their scattered stacks are not super impressive. If this one happens to join here, they can take out New Orleans. I'm hoping this reinforces down to the port to battle my militia there and keeps these guys separate. In the meantime, maybe we can build up some forces just to hang on a little better. And if I can just stabilize Florida, I'll knock out Georgia also, to try and diminish their income and capacity to maintain an offensive. The other thing we have going is up here. I moved up to protect Niagara and counter the Iroquois. And originally my thinking was, well, let's just kind of have this going on, this stalemate, and let the British take care of that. Then we can move this army down to the south to counter this little force that's moving kind of unopposed against us right here. But after thinking some more, I decided we're going to go on the offense up here in the north against Iroquois. Also, we're going to focus on the unit outside of the city. He'll get some reinforcements, but I think we're up to the challenge. The reason I changed my mind is eventually we're going to want to take New York, and having this province right next to New York sure is going to aid us in accomplishing that task. So I've decided to go on the offensive here, right or wrong. And that kind of gives you the overview of the Americas at the moment. Now it's just a matter of making that happen. We got all sorts of stuff still going on in India and in the continent, because that's where Genoa is to begin with. So we'll visit those later. Today, and right now, the focus is down here in the Americas. So let's start the naval battle off, and hopefully start it off on a good foot. Alright, it does show us having the edge. Let's just hope my abilities mean that we actually do have the edge. So we'll see you down on the high seas. Alright, unfortunately we have our first event working against us. First of all, it's foggy. Second of all, we got the wind that is not in our favor, even though we are the one that should have been. Of course, their loading zone is off on the side, so maybe we can take a little bit of advantage of this. We'll see. I think what we're going to do is keep this 2-line formation going. Yeah, kind of keep a mixture of 4th and 5ths in the 2-line. Oh, that's all 5th. So does that mean all my 4th? That's a 5th though. So I only have 3 4th rates. I was thinking I had 4. So much for my, oh, there we go. So much for my, I was about to say so much for my counting abilities, but I just didn't pan out enough. So we're going to keep a mixture of 4th and 5th rates in both of these 2 lines. And I'll set up and we'll come right back, see how I set up. Alright, we have both lines very close to each other. We want everybody as much as possible able to support. Ideally, we want to get as many of our guns and whatnot surrounding them and getting as much firepower at once against them so we can try to somehow overwhelm them. This way we won't get full advantage going ahead into the wind, and eventually hopefully be able to use it to our advantage at some point. So let's go find out where they are and get moving. And here they are. So both fleets are on the move. It doesn't look like both fleets are moving fast because we just don't have the advantage of the wind. But as we get closer, we'll take a look at the situation. Just so we have a good idea on how they're set up, it looks like they have a single line approach with the sloops in the back, so there's no advantage with speed until they break up that line for their sloops. So we're going to see if we can't kind of come close on either side of this, and let's see if we can if that's what we are able to do as we get closer. Okay, with their advantage with the wind, they're able to get past us. We're not able to head them off, so I've decided to take both our fleets kind of down this way against the wind. Then we'll have to react and then hopefully turn back into the wind to come around again and continue our attack. So we do not have the wind initially. We're in some kind of semi-awkward positions here, but hopefully it'll come back to not haunt us. The Admiral's faulty start to this mission. Some of our bow guns have been able to shoot, but no broadsides quite yet. And our pace is slow because we're going against the wind. There's our first volley against their lead fifth rate. So these first volleys are at a distance. I don't expect either side to do any significant damage with these first rounds of long-range shots. So let's hope that because we're at a distance, when we're able to then turn into the wind to really go at them, we will have the winds at our back and hopefully improve our situation here. We're going to make our first move with the first line to get in there and start taking advantage of the wind position. We're going to see, we probably won't cut off the sloops, but if they're the ones that end up firing at us as we make this turn, I'd rather have their lesser firepower while we're vulnerable. And we're going to break apart the other line, I believe, at this point. And we're going to just kind of turn into them individually to at least maintain some contact. While the other line maneuvers. So we're progressing here pretty well. We aren't quite behind this sloop that as I was hoping. Oh yeah, we're gonna get it now. And then we'll be turning up to bring the battle towards them again with the wind. In fact, we'll make that turn now since that'll take us a while to turn. They're the one that were working hard to kind of envelop us, so hopefully that will not happen. We have some hull damage here on our Admiral's flagship, 5th rate here. So I think we may take him out of the action down this way along these ships. 4th rate is holding the line also here against them. We're doing some hull damage at least. We've slowed down their lead ship, but may wreak some havoc in their line formation and cause it to break up. continue to pound his hull. We've taken out one of the lesser vessels. We need to start working on the bigger guys now. Our fourth rate holding the line here. It gets lots of shots from their ships, but our hull is holding up right now. It looks like we've been demasted here on our Admiral's flagship. No wonder he's concerned. We got a really nasty hull situation. We'll try to turn out this way into the wind to try and at least get our good hull side over there. And we are starting to falter up here with our fourth rate that was holding the line against them. All of a sudden our hull quickly started deteriorating. We're routing because we're on fire now. I think we will break. They seem to be moving much faster when we get them out of formation, so let's break down our next formation and just get them moving on their own. And we have surrendered on fire. So that's a big loss for us, losing a fourth rate. And they are starting to turn back into us, so we need to turn ourselves to get ready for this assault. We've taken out another sloop, so we've been very good at taking out their sloops. Them off, but not bring the stern exposed to them too much, as we're doing right here. But at the same time, they're going to get, if they choose us, some nasty bow shots on us. We're about to get their first fifth rate, perhaps, going down. And he has surrendered. And we just lost our first fifth rate due to hull damage. Let's get you turned in to the wind. So it's a bloody, tough battle, as I knew it would be. They've lost another ship here, sinking, surrendered. Let's keep you over here to try and cut off the rest, keep this guy isolated. And we'll try getting both of you around to cut off the remaining bit of their line. We got this guy isolated in the front, so we'll see if our two vessels can work on him. He is turning, realizing he's becoming isolated. We have cut them off a little bit. Let's see if we can keep the pressure on. We need to get you back in here too. Stay ahead as he turns. Tough fight we have going here. At least this isolated one is getting it bad from both sides now. And he's starting to waver. Got my hull on this fourth rate of mine that we're counting on. Is not looking good on that one side. Oh, look at the old fifth rate from ages ago. Let's see if we finally caught back up for us, our flagship. Let's see if we can get a nice rear blast off. So our fourth rate did the job. We did bring them down. Time to bring the rest of us around to get some more shots. We got his fifth rate here that's in the strongest position but still weakening. He might be working to break away. Time to get some more vessels off in this direction to help us out as he is trying to maneuver around us. He has taken his volley. Let's turn into the wind. Let's see what we can do with these guys. For the first time, I'm feeling a nice advantage. Boy, a lot of ships going down, man. Boom. Time to give chase and start turning into the wind. I'm nervous about our flagship's hull, so I'm keeping him faced only on this side. And we'll see if we can't head this guy off. As we work hard to bring everybody else around. We got another one failing, surrendered because he's on fire. That should bring him down to one ship, period. So we're gonna take all of ours. We still fortunately have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 remaining out of our 8. Better than it felt for a while there. Oh, he's kind of turning in, so let's keep him in our sights. We're going to slow you down. We're going to see if we can't wrap it up. We got multiple vessels lined up for shots, which ultimately will make this work. Oh, he's getting by us, losing track. Let's keep. Oh, that's bad for us right there, wavering because of the hull damage. We allowed him to get on us. Let's bring some more shots around. We need firepower on this guy because he's not super great shape. He's got hull damage he's worried about. Shot off the bow. Some of our trailing ships just not able to catch up yet to give us support, even though we still, fortunately, do outnumber him. And he's starting to waver at last. He's routing. And we keep the pressure on. And the battle is over. We're going to continue just to make sure he doesn't get away. And we'll come right back once we chase him down a little bit. Alright, so we got ourselves a close victory. He was able to get off. Unfortunately, we were a little too close to the edge of the map. He was able to get off the edge away from us. We'll find out if his single ship is able to sail away or if it ends up sinking. We'll find out. Alright, it looks like enemy killed, captured, so lost, remaining. It shows 0 remaining on their side, so that's nice. What's nice is we may have some nice ships, a 5th rate, a 5th rate, a 5th rate. Sound like a broken record here. Sloop and sloop. So we're not going to take the sloops. We're going to take the 4 5th rates and bolster our navy. So that force that's been dropped off in Cuba is now landlocked, much to my joy. I think what we'll do is, since I'm going to leave that force there on Florida, since I decided that, I got to get my ship, if it's in range, to port. And since I think the New Orleans port is under threat from the Cherokee, we're going to bring this Navy over here for repairs.
Orders.
And that'll cost us, wow, big hefty. Well, we damaged their ships that we took on also pretty significantly. But 3,466 later, and they will be repaired soon. The other thing we want to do then is start looking forward to the north, but before I do that, something I ran out of money for last time with this army, and that was the ability to get them fully healed, and now we have the money to afford that. Brings us down to 16,900, but better to have them healed in enemy territory. Let's build up also our construction here. Get a magistrate going to help out with public order for when we move out. And I'm going to hold off until I get a slightly better picture on the situation down here, until we, before we start building up the resources here, the plantations. And I'm going to destroy this particular farm so we can build it as one of our own. And I think that has us set for Florida for the moment. The other thing I'm going to do here is we are under threat of attack, and we could very well be overwhelmed if these two forces combine, but just in case, we're going to recruit another couple regiments of line infantry, and this spot could very well be a target and overwhelmed. We're going to build a force as we can. If we can do any damage as they're moving around, if they're moving north, we're going to try and slow them down a little bit. How about that? And we'll build a unit that we can here. And And what we're going to do is we're going to make this land battle happen against Iroquois right now. If you look at their stacks, it's not quite a full 10. We got 9 there, and in town we've got another full stack of 10. So they're looking at about 19 units, not counting the garrison. And here we've got about 23 units with artillery. So I think this is the time for us to strike and see if we can do some damage over here. Although I was thinking we'd be able to hit it there in one turn, and apparently we cannot. So we'll get ourselves closer along the road here to cut off their path to our territory, and hopefully then be able to take them out next turn. Okay, we got extra units where and when we can. The other thing I'm going to do is down on our islands down here. I'm a little off-centered. Wrong island, guys. And we're going to recruit a couple more line infantry here, just in case some bad things happen until I get a better sense of how much we're facing with the Cherokee. We're going to build a couple line infantry here. So we're going to have some line infantry recruited and sitting in reserve here if we're able to pick them up. And now with our enlarged fleet down in the Americas, we should be able to make that happen. And we'll build a couple more units up here of line infantry. That way, if the worst happens, we can react. Then there's a couple other things before we leave America, since I was hoping and looking forward to being able to do that Iroquois attack here. But so we do not forget things while we're down here in the Americas before we move to another theater. I want to go ahead and we have 1 unit here to send up to our ports. And we got 1 more new port that's propped up and sprouted up. So we got to build another militia unit to protect that also. We have the same thing here where a new port appeared and we never did anything to protect it. So we're going to build militia there. And we got the same issue in Mexico where we have the new fishery here and the new shipyard up here. So we have a couple units that need building. Oh, maybe only 1 more because we have 1 there already that we built. So we're going to send this guy out to the shipyard. That's the most important we have. And then on this recruitment that we did, we're going to make it 1 less line infantry and 1 extra militia for that fishery. So that should round up the Americas. So let's head on over to India. And while we won't have a specific attack here, I have plans to go on the offensive in spite of Genoa, in spite of Iroquois, in spite of the Cherokee. What we're going to do is we go up here. Oh, wait, we have sight. So let's get up here, and I'm thinking we will offload both armies here because we definitely outnumber up here. In fact, these 4th rates that just dropped him off, there's 4 of them. We're going to combine that so we have a little bit of a more significant navy here to remain in India. The rest, after we offload, I am planning to head back to the continent with them, because this is a main fleet for over there for both Mediterranean and North Sea duty that I want to keep back over there with the British patrolling around. So let's drop off our troops up in India. And we are offloaded. Let's see if we can make this vessel make it. Oh, just barely. And we're going to take it back to the continent. Alright, just to keep the pressure on. Now, that's not the only move we're going to make with land forces in India. We recruited our last 4 to make this a mega stack, our first mega stack army that we're going to be taking to India. In fact, I don't know if they can even all fit on this ship, so I guess we're going to find out, huh? Get them all loaded up, or as many as will load up. So it's not quite all. We require 2 trips here. but it's close enough that we're going to be able to do that. So let's figure out where we want to land. And I'm figuring right here is not a bad spot, even if they come out against us. We'll be able to shuttle back and forth and get all our forces over there. Pick up the rest of the army. Oops. As long as we highlight that we want all of them. And I think what I may have done is picked up one of the militia without really paying attention, so we'll have to figure out what to do. We'll have to figure out a way to get him back at some point. Alright, and they should be close enough to reinforce each other should these guys come out to attack. At least that's my hope. And the ship can't make it back to port, but there's no threats down here in this area. So there's the shuttle. We are now ready for some big old attacks in India, keeping our major offensive worldwide going. And then the last thing we do, we have about 5,500 remaining. Let's head back to the continent and take a look at what we're dealing with here with Genoa as far as just its army alone sitting here. Looks like we've got about 10 units, a nice mix of cavalry and line infantry, not militia. So it's totally outnumbers us down here in anywhere we are able to face them. But we're just going to recruit some line infantry just in case to hassle and hopefully slow them down if they decide to move against us also. So I ran out of money for recruiting, so we'll stop there. So much for expanding our economy this turn. That's just what we'll have to do. It's all been on recruitment just because of these massive declarations of war we had. We had to take a slight break from growing our economy. Just so we don't forget, we did have an election last turn, and we have some upgrades necessary. A big one that I want to see about upgrading is in the treasury. Let's just see if we have anyone here that might be a better fit in a different office. The head might make a better naval officer. And with our navies growing so much, let's head him over there. Oh yeah, much better fit there. Let's see what some other perks are here. We have an increase to treasury, an increase to justice, but then it all gets balanced out because of that perk right there. So, but this one, if we put him in justice, although our justice guy is better, that's the only place where he can get us a boost. Let's see what our justice guy looks like. And he might do better. Oh, he has plus to justice. So what we can do is we move him over to the treasury, move this guy over to justice, and at least we have above average individuals here. Let's see what your traits are. Nothing exciting. Let's see if this is the best fit for the guy we have in the army. He would be strong. Let's just switch over to justice. Whoa, it's amazingly strong there. Let's see if anyone has any army traits that we can, of these guys in India and whatnot left. Well, that's Navy, Patron. And he just has nothing. So this is what we're left with at the moment. I think getting the army, because of the size, helping our recruitment costs and our upkeep costs is an important one to get fixed up. So let's replace. And we don't get replaced necessarily any better. He is pious. Whoop-de-doo. So we'll have some more hiring and firing to do next time. At least 2 key positions that are important for us, treasury and justice, and navy, because of the size of our navy these days, have been accomplished. But we got a lot more to change up and improve and make better for us. And we did finish a trait down here in Navy. We got seasoning researched. I want to move rather than focus on improved grape shot right away because I don't use a ton of it in naval battles. Let's focus that guy over here. So he's in Evora. Let's go over here. And there we go. I like that matchup better. Now it does show we have a researched fire by rank now. So we're going to have to start keeping our eyes. I'm going to have to zoom in on our lines now. I kind of missed that when that came aboard as research. Maybe it just happened, hopefully. But I want to take a closer peek to our lines now. Next time we have a land battle. So that should be everything for this turn. Let's go ahead and make a move for the next turn. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, the Mughal would like to make peace with us right as I started my offense. That actually is a good sign, I think. Although to get peace, boy, do they want a lot. And that's just not something they're going to get. But hopefully maybe our move against them all of a sudden has them a little rattled. Let's find out. But we're gonna not make peace. And Genoa has a little old fleet out there. And they're going to move against us. I think this is the Ivory Coast, if I'm not mistaken. And they have decided to move their fleets against ours. What do they have? Ooh, they do outclass us here with 2 5th rates and a sloop. And we have a 6th rate and 2 flutes. And 2 very weakened, a flute and a 6th rate. So shame on me on missing that and not getting them upgraded. I think what we're going to do is retreat. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we retreat near some of our other ships and give us a better chance. The battle's only slightly in their favor, but the fact that I am so weakened with guns, I don't feel confident. So we're going to retreat. And we couldn't manage to retreat, just a little bit closer to another fleet. We're just going to auto-resolve. It probably will not be a good result for us. And let's see, we lost 1. We have 2 vessels remaining, but because we retreated, I think they're going to all end up sinking. So, better than I expected. But at least he did not capture any, and now he's going to start picking us off. What do we have here? An extremely weak brig with 4 guns and 2 more flutes. I think what we're going to do is retreat once again. And we couldn't manage to retreat to where we have any vessels. Auto-resolve here. And we killed one of their ships. They captured one of our ships, apparently. So, no net loss for them. And their army has moved on Cuba. We knew that was going to happen. We're vastly outnumbered. We're just going to auto-resolve this one now. And they have conquered us. And Genoa, quite historically, now has control of Cuba. Okay, it looks like a lot of these dinky armies have decided not to focus on my capitals and run around down there, the Cherokee. Okay, this army has been destroyed. We knew about that one, and that's down here in Cuba. We have a new rake in Upper Louisiana, so maybe good timing. We can go send him out, searching out and seeing if there's any Cherokee strongholds we need to be aware of. We lost Cuba, we know that. Enemy has raided, and the Cherokee, that's what they decided to do instead of attack our capitals. I see some straggling units over here, so they did not join up against New Orleans as I suspected. I may move, therefore, the army out of New Orleans to take on this raiding force over here. And as we start improving our situation over in Florida, we can't quite move the whole army out, but I might take a chance. Let's exempt them from taxes, and we're going to be really close to being able to move out of there. And then it looks like our rakes are continuing their successful missions, which is good. Lots of recruitment, which has only got to be able to help us. One thing I didn't notice is where there used to be an army over here of medium to smallish size, so I guess they're coming back over here, maybe feeling threatened by my army in Florida. That's what I'm thinking. And then up north in Iroquois territory, they split their forces, maybe feeling threatened. What happened over here is the British Army went in here against their fur trading resources over here. So we are going to be able to take out Iroquois once and for all, I believe, right there. Construction, okay. Next turn is where we will not show any massive construction, unfortunately. We had our fleet destroyed, and once again, we've gained a new port. Let's go find out where that is, and we'll get back to matters at hand. Huh. So this is part of the Spanish territory, and we gained a port out here. We're just going to go with a fishery to help with growth. And leave it at that for the moment. Alright, so I think looking around, I really want to get a land battle in, but I think our time is going to push us a little, make it a little tight to finish up with a land battle on this episode. So good news is, beginning of next episode, I have a battle here where I'm going to move against the Iroquois and knock them out, hopefully once and for all. If I am able to do that, that should eliminate this army that they're trying to loop around the long way. They came up and around to take Niagara, so we're just going to go direct in here, knock them out, and eliminate that threat. Then this army will be freed to start moving down to help with the Cherokee. That's plan number one. Plan number two is I think we are going to move this army out to take over Savannah, Georgia. So we have probably not a battle there, but a repositioning where they will surrender more than likely, I would figure, I would assume. And then this army is going to just have to be nimble depending on how they react to come back and defend at Georgia or down here in St. Augustine, Florida. Over in India, we got battles set up here. They did not, as I thought they might, move against our forces that landed here. We're going to combine our forces and move against Arcot. And then we are going to combine our forces again in the north and move against Kutak. So we got tons of land battles lined up for next episode. Whether time allows us to get all those in one episode, I do not know, but we will have a battlefield future here for the short term coming up. So I hope you're able to rejoin me in the future, next episode to be in particular, and have some fun with me on land battles. We did get a nice light naval battle in this time that, fortunately, not being my strength, we handled successfully, and I'm pleased with the result. Genoa is landlocked on Cuba, which is what I was trying to accomplish. So ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. Hit me that like, subscribe so you don't miss all these land battles coming up, and I hope to see you next time.